Hello and welcome to episode 19 of the Social Outcast podcast. Super late night Saturday night episode since yesterday was St. Patrick's Day. I'm your host Marsh, and these are my two co-hosts.
The Radical Machine.
And
Socrates.
Oh god.
Again.
Of course.
So it's because we have a philosophical episode again?
Probably not.
No, there is nothing philosophical about this episode.
I'm very sad to hear that, by the way.
I mean,
I'll just have to
maybe.
make it. I'll just have to make it philosophical.
So
This one and the last one has been.
no, the past couple of them were actually, I think.
I don't remember the one before last being philosophical.
Yeah, they kind of all just blur in with each other, and it's kind of amazing. You think about it, we took 2 weeks off since our initial start. That means we've been doing this for 21 weeks. So over, 5 months?
So we're old
Yeah,
enough to
because
drink?
you started it just randomly one day in October, and I'm like, oh, okay.
That's ridiculous. The only other few things that I've committed to for over just a handful of times is karate that I did for probably the longest, which was 3, 4, maybe 5 years. Second one is my current job, and the third one is Kroger.
And the
Kroger.
person sitting to your left.
That's how we got Jackson.
Well, sure, but that's not really a commitment. Rather than handcuffed to each other and forced to forceful commitment.
Wow,
You
that
make it
was,
sound like you don't want to be here.
No, that's a joke. I just love giving you crap about it.
Oh.
So it's the Saturday after St. Patrick's Day, and we had a little bit of a party over at my place because I got a brand new board game. Kind of
It's
board
technically
game,
not,
card game.
It's not brand new. It is
No,
for
it's
us,
it's brand
but-
new for us. It's not brand new out.
Right.
Would it be considered a board game or a card game?
It's
Because-
more of a card game.
Because you don't really need the board.
It's more of
You
a
could
card
use a
game.
paper that
'Cause, yeah,
has
they actually-
numbers on it.
They actually show like in accessories they show like a level tracker that's like 2 spinners on each side.
Yeah, so it's
And-
a card game.
Yeah, so we're talking about
Don't
Munchkin.
even need a board. But Matt has it, you said.
Yeah, Matt has it, but we've never played it before. And he only has the base game, not the deluxe that comes with a board, a die, and standing figures, along with the first set of cards itself. And also the steampunk version, which completely overhauls it into its own unique
It's a spin-off.
spin-off while keeping the silliness of Munchkin, and then another expansion which was number 3, so Clerical Error.
And coming soon, there's going to be another expansion based on our book universe.
What are you going to do it on?
We're going to
Paper?
homemake it.
Yeah, we're gonna homemake it.
Paper.
It's gonna be ridiculous.
I hope construction
You
paper
know
at
what?
least.
That's actually a very good
Or
idea.
cardstock.
You
We,
finally agree with me that? Because I've pitched that idea to you like 10 times now, and you're like...
In like the past 24 hours,
I
yeah.
know.
I think it's a good idea. I just wonder what cards you would make.
Yeah,
Well,
see.
it would, that's the thing, though. That would motivate and force us to generate content for our story universe.
Very
Think about
true.
it. What better way to come up with content when you have to? Because it's like, okay, we want to make this expansion to Munchkin based on our own writing.
So
what are we going to
release
make
it
for
at the
it?
same
then
time.
we need to write it and everything. So there you go.
Are you going to get Cthulhu too?
So
That just sounds funny.
actually, So I got the first expansion, the first base game, and its second expansion actually, and then the steampunk one. I had no clue about the Cthulhu one until after, and so I looked it up. It's actually a lot cheaper buying four of the Cthulhu expansions, including its base game, than it was than just me buying the two Munchkin, then Steampunk Munchkin, and then the one expansion for it. So that cost me about $30 more than this thing. So I went out and I bought this, and it's 3 expansions. So these are coming this week.
Nice.
So
I feel like there could be a Munchkin for anything.
there truly is.
I mean, you're making one about your novel.
Well, that's Matt's idea, and now that I'm thinking about it, that could be a lot of fun. You know, we do our own silly art style.
You wouldn't even need to, like, you could just, it would basically be a reskin of the game. You would just take, like, what the cards already do and either translate them as is or make minor modifications.
Right.
Well, that's
kind
what
of thing.
Cthulhu
So you just take an already
is, right?
established, proven, working formula, but we put our own, like,
Twist on it.
yeah, our own little spin on it.
That's what they did
So
with
that, like, the
Cthulhu,
monsters
right?
you would fight would reflect on, like, monsters that we have in our story, or villains, or whatever.
Do you think you would get everything for it eventually?
What do you mean?
Like, all the expansions and the
You just have,
other
like,
versions?
What, me actually buying all the Munchkin expansions?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't. The only things that I would be willing to buy for this is any expansions for the Cthulhu one, just because of how ridiculous and insane it looks, and hilarious also.
Okay.
And then possibly more of the expansions of the original one, and if there are any for the steampunk one. So no more base games, no more spin-offs for me. I already got all of those. I got the ones that I want, and I will stick with these 3, which essentially I bought 3 different versions of the same game. But it doesn't matter, because the steampunk version is, in fact, a lot different than the original version, mainly because there's the whole gear thing, where it's like, if it has a gear,
Yeah.
like the image of a gear in it, you get a bonus to it.
Which makes it seem like you have to really look for it. Are
Right.
there any small?
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Yes, there are.
Okay.
Like, I was squinting my eyes, holding the card up right to my face, and like, there's a gear, small as can be, right there at that hilt of that cane. I get a +1 for that now.
Yeah, well, they purposely designed it that way, too, so it could be overlooked.
Yeah. And that was just hilarious, because I
Or
kept...
like that one card, Morlock Holmes.
That was funny.
It's like an ape in a Sherlock Holmes outfit. But the thing is, one of the cards, the monkey wrench, says that if a monster clearly looks like an ape or a monkey, you get +10 against it.
That's ridiculous.
So
Yeah.
that's why I was trying to, like, point that out. I'm like, if I had to fight that, I would get a huge bonus against it, because clearly the art design is showing him as an ape.
Yeah, and I remember that
Radiated.
you actually gave me that card, because you're like,
I couldn't use it. It was in my initial hand, and it's like a level 19 monster, and I had no equipment.
You're like, I ain't gonna fight this. You just handed it off. And then you place down the monkey wrench, and then like a couple turns after, you're like, oh, I get a +10 to that monster that you have, so we can fight that at any moment. Mm-hmm. Really? And I'm like, yeah, okay. And at that point in time, I was just stockpiling treasure cards, and I had over 30 damage, 30 on my bonus, which was ridiculous, and I was only like level 4. And
yeah,
so
you went like all in for the win. You had all this equipment, and then the game that I won, I'm like, I'm gonna smash a potted plant. to win the game.
Yeah.
Mine was like such a wimpy win.
Yeah, like to get
Like it's not even a monster.
to get to the point where I was like, all right, I'm going to fight this level 18, and then there's going to be an undead creature that comes in to help it, which is level 12. So I got to beat 30 on it. I'm level 4, but I have all this gear, all these bonuses, all this ridiculous crap. I'm like 34. All right, I can deal with that.
The first game was great, though. How it ended?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because then I drew a level 4, and I was already like level 9, I think.
Yeah,
so if
you
I
were
killed it,
level
I would
9.
win.
Yeah.
And so, but my level couldn't help me out. And in my hand, I just had plus 10 to either side. And one of the cards specifically said, oh, either give plus 2 to this thing or plus 4 if you're the owner of this card game. Oh, yeah, there you go. It actually says card game on one of the cards. So it says,
Breaking the fourth wall.
right,
That's
if
what
you are
happened.
the owner of this game, you can say you get plus 4 or a monster gets plus 4. But if you're giving it to an ally, you can literally say, I'm only giving you plus 2. It's great. It's super trolly.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely love it. I found my favorite card game, really, to play with friends. And I mean, I like the other games that we play.
Mm-hmm.
And I have a other one, the Oregon Trail card game, which we didn't play
That's
last
based
night.
on the classic
Yes.
PC game.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And I saw it, and I was just going to pass it over, but then I remembered that my boss talked about playing it with his son,
The card game or the PC game?
the actual PC game.
Oh.
So I'm like, huh. Well, I know he was saying he was looking for things to get his son for his birthday. And, oh, look, it's on sale. It was originally like $20. And it was
For
on
that
sale for
tiny
10.
box?
Yeah. It was on sale for 10. I'm like, okay. I'll definitely pick this up. If I don't like it, I'll just give it to him. So they're like, hey, I remember you were saying that you enjoyed playing it with your son, so why not? I don't like it. I've tried it before. It's like that waste of $13 that I did on the Sherlock Holmes case card. Which
we didn't show you.
but I've talked about it before.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to ask a question to the audience. And if you buy something and it says Sherlock Holmes puzzle case card game, or like a puzzle game or a mystery game, you're probably going to think that it's like mysteries, like crimes, murders, or puzzles that you have to solve. Not if two trains leave at the same time and they're running on parallel tracks, but one's going faster than the other, and it only has 1 hour left while the other one has 4 hours left. Well, how many more times is the 1 hour going faster? It's like
physics problems.
Physics problems, geography problems. Pick a place between Britain and France that are of equal distance, but farther away from Britain than it is France. What?
You go to Netherlands or
It's some vague
Denmark
island
or-
that I did not know existed.
You'd really have to know about geography. And this was an elementary
Oh, I
question.
see. Yeah, like the islands in the English Channel.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know the names of those islands, but I know that there are English Channel islands.
But you'd
though.
either need a map or
or
an
you just play
extensive
a ton of
knowledge.
Paradox games, which have a world map, and you memorize like every city in Europe and
like
other
the
parts
one
of
you
the world.
have.
The one? No, the ones. The multiple.
I
The
thought he
many.
has
I played-
Europa Universalis.
I've put between
No,
Europa
he is-
3 and Hearts of Iron 3, I've put like over 800 hours of playing just those 2 games.
Oh,
So,
man.
Oh dear. I
I'm-
thought my playthrough of Skyrim was long.
no, see, I'm committed to a game when I play it. I play the heck out of it.
And I'm
I've always
not,
wanted
because
to
I
go
haven't
back,
touched
too.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
At least to Hearts of Iron, because I wanted to make my own mod where I like set up a whole scenario with a different timeline and everything.
Doing the Saga of Tanya the Evil.
Not quite.
He doesn't like anime.
That wouldn't translate very well.
So
You could do something like that in another game.
You'd
though.
need magic, probably.
for those of you, yes, for those of you anime fans or people who would be willing to actually check a weird, twisted anime out, go check out Saga of Tanya the Evil, whether it's on Crunchyroll or wherever you watch your anime. That is one of the weirdest, most bizarre, out of left field intros that I have ever seen that I was not prepared for. You're going to go into it, you're going to see episode 1 and think it's going one way. Watch episode 1. Immediately after, watch episode 2. Sit down, give yourself about an hour to do this. Sit down and watch episode 2. Go through the first 2. You will understand what is happening. It is the most insane thing that I have ever seen tried being pulled off in an anime, and I hope there's more. And I am super excited for it.
Is it a new series?
I believe it is. I'm pretty confident it is.
Mm-hmm.
I know last week it had 10 episodes. I'm not sure if they're still releasing episodes or if it's done right now. But I know for a fact it's a newer episode. A newer show. And I can't get it. I can't pull up the show info.
Access is denied.
Saga of Tanya the Evil. Google is always there for me.
Like a girlfriend.
So apparently episode 1, The Devil of the Rhine, was released January 2017 on Crunchyroll.
Yes, it's a new show then.
Yeah, it is a new show, and it's published 7 volumes since 2013. So it's a bunch of light novels
Well,
that were turned into
I
a
thought
show.
she was creepy before.
Yeah, no.
And those curls on the front of her face, what her hair is, those bother me.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting show.
It's kind of boring to me, but I'm glad you enjoyed
Well,
it.
you don't like anime.
I don't want to spoil anything, but the main plot starts up in episode 2. Go watch that, and you'll get the gist of what they're trying to do with it. So yeah, that's a thing. And now moving on to our topics, yeah.
After rambling for 18 and a half minutes, you know our show format was supposed to change where we just go right into the topics, right?
Oh yeah, I know, but Munchkin
Come
was
on,
a
man.
topic.
Come
St.
on.
Patrick's Day was a topic.
So the phrase is a question, though. Engage the audience.
So, what was yours?
Ask questions
Technology?
about the universe.
Was that your new topic, or
That was my only topic. What other one was
you
there?
were saying something along the lines of you don't want to mention it until the show?
Oh. I have a prep project also.
Oh,
All I want to say
really?
about it is that
Well,
it's for
that's-
Marshall.
That's my topic later. So,
Later.
so later on in the show, we're going to be talking about pet projects.
I forgot you didn't mention it.
Right. Spoilers. So, but for the first topic, or second topic now, is one of us obviously thinks this, but not too sure about the other two. So the topic is, or the question is, does technology infringe on society too much? And if you believe it does, how would you change it? And now I'm going to ask the first person to ask this question. What do you think specifically?
Who are you talking about?
You.
Oh, yes.
Chris.
Considering that he's facing you,
Well, he said one person, and then I'm not sure about
you
the
didn't
other
put
two.
2 and 2 together.
Well,
I thought it was me.
I'm going to
but
think.
I didn't know if he was sure.
I'm going to think because you asked the question, you believe this,
I
right?
think,
Yes.
therefore, I am.
Really playing the Socrates role.
Oh, God. I completely forgot about that. So, what exactly do you mean by it infringes upon our society too much?
Like social media and
Do tell.
How so, though? Because you use social media more than I do.
I
True.
do.
Yes. I consider social media to be Facebook, Twitter, all of the ones where you have a group of friends on there and you post silly things every other day or so, whatnot. So it's mainly Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat.
Yeah,
What are
there's
the other
those
ones?
kinds. YouTube counts. YouTube's a little bit different, but YouTube's still social media.
At this point in time, I would believe YouTube to be a social media for like the famous YouTubers. Because
Well, no, it's a little bit
personally,
different.
yes, but personally, like it can be used as like vlogging, where it's like this is what I did during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that could be considered a social media aspect of YouTube.
So where you draw the line, and I like this as a philosophical discussion.
Right.
So
I'm glad I could
so
contribute
to me, it sounds
philosophical
like
things.
what you define it as, it's like message boarding. It's something where status updates. So
Yes.
if it
Yeah.
involves status updates, if it involves message boarding, if it involves your target audience being a closely knit group of people, relatively small, then you're saying, okay, it's social media. As opposed to like YouTube, which is like, for example, this show, we broadcast it, but our intended audience is anybody
Right.
in the world who wants to watch and listen to us ramble.
So here's what I mean when I personally say I don't believe YouTube is social media. It's because I mainly use YouTube as a entertainment platform.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use Facebook as
So
an
it's more like
entertainment
a
platform.
crowd-funded or crowdsourced entertainment media. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah, because everyone contributes.
Yeah,
and
it's
then
that
you get money.
crowdsourced entertainment media. Okay, that's too long. It's not going to be a buzzword that everybody's just going to use all of a sudden.
No.
But I see what you're saying, though.
Hashtag crowdsourced.
You used a hashtag.
Exactly. So you already
Whatever he
forgot.
just
Yeah.
said it.
Crowdsourced entertainment. Yeah.
Hashtag crowdsourced entertainment YouTube.
I
Yeah.
don't think you've ever hashtagged anything.
Well, I'm trying to use Twitter a lot more, and I've sent out 4 tweets, I believe, this week alone. So
You better not get into any Twitter wars with people.
I'm breaking my record.
I'm just gonna say right now, I have to say your PR skills leave something to be desired.
Yes, I know.
Which
Because
is
he
why
only
I usually
says-
tell you not to respond to comments on our videos and let me handle them. Well, it depends. Like, you can respond to our like good comments, but whenever there's a bad one, I'm like, dude, just let it go.
he only says something
Done.
when there's a show.
No, I'm bad at that. Where I'll look at one of our comments and it'll be 1:00 in the morning. I'm not of sound mind, and I'll just look at the message and say, I kind of don't like that. We get it. We've seen probably about 100 messages of the same thing, and yet people still comment it after.
Because there are 100 different people in different places at different times.
But the fact of the matter is that it is there. It is on the video. You see someone else already made the joke.
So
It's not funny
Not
anymore.
everybody reads the comments, though.
But
Yeah,
you have
I
to
don't.
scroll down to the comments in order
it's
to
too
see
much
it.
Well,
effort. It's too much
Sometimes
effort.
I do.
So much easier.
That's the Reddit mentality.
So much easier to just post.
So that's
So what
the
do you
Reddit
consider
mentality.
Reddit to be then?
Yeah, I'll consider that social media.
Okay.
It's just you can see posts from people you don't know.
Right.
I find Reddit to be kind of boring, personally.
Well, Reddit's the self-proclaimed front page of the internet.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
'Cause you get news
right.
and
You get news,
Non-news.
you get artwork, you get silly videos, you get music, you get space news, stuff like that. And yeah, that's the Reddit mentality for me, because I'll see something, I'll think something, and then if I go to write a comment on it, I'll scroll down and see if anyone else has made the joke. And when I see no one's made this joke, I'm going to jump on this, scroll back up really quick, type out the comment, and then post it. Or like, I can't remember what it was, but it was something along the lines of, it dealt with the ocean and people living under there. And I immediately thought of the Death Clock song, Go Into the Water. Scrolled down, and sure enough, like the third comment thread, it was the lyrics of the songs. I'm like, well, I wasn't fast enough to see that. I'm kind of disappointed in myself.
Back onto the topic then.
Yes.
So what do you mean by infringement or
better yet, what do you mean by fixing it or changing
I'm
it?
a little confused on what the topic's about, actually, to be honest. 'Cause
what would you do to change how much technology imposes on our lives and does for the first one?
Alright, so give me an example of how it's imposing to you. I mean,
I guess half with social media and like half with some of the inventions, because I saw a robot that looks like a human that's supposed to be like your maid and butler, personal chef, and babysitter, and they can do anything. And I'm afraid that it's going to turn out like iRobot.
oh, so you want to take the topic in that direction.
So
Okay.
you're worried about a robot overlord apocalypse?
Yeah, because we're
In a
giving
sense.
these machines
Okay.
all
See,
this
this- now-
technology
Hi,
and
Skynet.
intelligence.
Because I had something to say if the topic went in a different direction.
Well,
you
what
can
different
say it.
direction?
Okay, so when you said like infringing, I was like, okay, so you're referring to saying something about modern technology is depriving me of something that I would otherwise be doing. So, for example, I thought you were going to say, like, are video games too entertaining? Do they waste my time? Do they prevent me from going out and getting exercise? Do they prevent me from going and exploring? Do they prevent me from, research, reading, studying? Or say, like my biggest contention, reason why I never really cared for the social media in the sense that our host here has described it, is that I think it makes people not very good at communication. I think the more technology facilitates communication, the more people lose those skills. Because here's the thing. Something gets lost in the translation, even now, even on a talk show like this. What's the thing that's lacking right now? You hear my voice, but you don't know what I look like. You don't know what my pose is right now. You don't see my facial expressions. You don't see my body language. So you're trying to understand what I'm saying, but you can only understand it so well. No matter how much I explain something to you, you're not going to have those visual cues that naturally go into it. And my fear would be that people would become so removed from interpersonal communication that they might not know how to interpret visual cues. So, sometimes
That's
people
what I
will
was
tell
thinking
sometimes
of.
people will tell you something
First
without
place,
actually
but I didn't
saying it.
I didn't know
You can
how
just
to
see it. You
explain
can
it.
see it in their eyes. You can see it on their face. You can see it in their body language. But if you spend all your time communicating by just posting on a message board or listening to voices in your headphones, and then say you go out into the big bad world and you want to do something, you might not be able to take a hint. You might not be able to realize that somebody is trolling you, deceiving you, taking advantage of you. You might not be able to spot a liar. That's the thing, right? So my fear is that people become too dependent on communication media that I think degrades people's interpersonal skills, which is why personally my philosophy is to meet in person whenever feasible.
It's like the manager at the dollar store.
I don't get that reference.
Nope.
Oh, right. Guess I shouldn't have said anything.
But anyway, so
She's having her own conversation in her head.
So, I mean, that's my thought on it. I think
that's interesting that you mentioned listening to the voices in your headphones, which I was hoping you would just have cut off at listening to the voices in your head. Mm-hmm. Just because that's where my brain took it. But just like I once knew a guy a while ago where he would just sit and listen to a radio broadcast like while we were sitting in the library, and he would react to it and like actually say something like, oh, why would you do that? As if he would have expected someone in the show to respond to it. And like, he would never talk to us while we were in the library. But like, if we had to go into one of the classrooms or actually work together, he would just sit there and sort of just do his own thing, not really talk to us. He would respond to us if he had to. But other than that, that was it.
And I'm willing to bet that when he responded, he didn't make eye contact. He probably was just like...
No, he did.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Because that's another thing. Like, I think...
But like,
that's another thing I didn't mention. Eye contact is, like, essential to understanding somebody's full, view on something. Like I said, you can read people's eyes if you're really good, and you can kind of sense what they're thinking, unless they're a really good liar. And there are people who practice smiling, in a sense. I mean, not everybody is as crazy as I'm going to go in front of a mirror and I'm going to practice my smile and everything. But in the sense that I don't know. To me, sometimes it feels like you see somebody say something, or you see somebody smile or something, and it's like, that's just kind of a mass-produced, run-of-the-mill one. And then when you see somebody who, there's just something a little bit different about them, you can tell that it's real, and then it just, it takes you by surprise a little bit. and sometimes you can surprise other people too. It's interesting. I think interpersonal communication, even not just conversation, but just like in general, I think is more interesting than just simply posting on a message board or posting a picture or posting a link to something. Like, to me, I just like, that means nothing to me. And the other thing is, I know a lot of times, like, just between us, when we text message, you'll try to, like, tell a joke, and I won't be able to know it's a joke, because there's no voice attached to it.
You can't
There's
communicate.
there's no context behind it. Or sometimes I'll just be like, I
Or
don't understand.
I'll send someone's witty poster in a protest rally, and you'll go on like a long rant, but it's like I just look at it, I'm like, oh boy, look what these guys are doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
Yeah.
and you're in like this.
Tone
This is
in
bad
text.
because of this. This is this. It.
And I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the context of that was. And I'm like, I don't know how to respond to this.
Right. Yeah. I get it.
So, I don't know. That's just...
This went down a weird path.
You can't communicate tone through text.
No, there's no emotion. There's no nothing. So...
Which is why, if you remember when we were talking about the script
Mm-hmm.
that we were working on, where I actually sent you a voice recorded message, that's why, because I wanted to get the tone off of how I wanted it.
Because when you sent me the idea of what you were thinking, I'm like, that sounds like a bad idea. And then when you sent me the voice, I'm like, oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But
I knew that was going to be the case, where it's like, he's not going to
understand
it because it's in my head. I can hear it through my voice, but he can't because he's just reading it. I better send him a voice clip real quick. That's what I did. It got the message across, and now you get it.
Right.
And then you actually responded back, and he's like, oh yeah, and then we can take it this route. It's like, yes. He saw the connections that I made to it, and it's like, ugh.
So the moral of the story is, don't spend all your time on your electronics. Get out and be a human being. Or maybe, let's go into the philosophical topic here.
Play
Maybe
video games
the
forever.
ones who will become the robots are us. Because we'll be so far removed from anything that's human that we'll become the ones that are the robots. And
that's
who will be the overlords then?
That reminds me of the comic that I'm currently reading, Tower of God. They introduced a living weapon that was tricked to think that she was just a normal human, but it's like a messaging service or something. I don't know.
What's the point of that?
I don't It's to lure people into traps for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. All that I know is that it's being used to gather people in a close proximity and completely and utterly screw other people over.
So, it can be involuntarily activated?
No. It's actually... I think the way they were calling it was a weapon to be used against people to lure them into a trap. So it's...
Okay.
I don't know. It's hard to explain because it's been going on. It's been a subplot for like the past 50 chapters.
Oh,
where it's like,
wow.
oh yeah, this new thing. And funny enough,
So
it's
a
on a cell
subplot?
phone.
Yeah.
But it's in like this fantasy tower, so apparently cell phones exist.
And you can get reception.
It's a cell phone tower.
Well, because reasons.
Funny. I like that one.
The best part about that is that it's a free comic. It's free. Someone does it. Just
Yeah, there's probably advertisements on the site that's provided on, though.
no.
No?
I get no advertisements. And I've scrolled through 240 chapters. They take an average of like 10 minutes to go through. Sometimes they'll be quicker because it's a lot of action going on, but it'll go through really quick. But that's segues for days. I love it.
Are we like 40 minutes in the show now?
We
We've
didn't
only
even
covered
go
one
through-
topic.
We haven't even covered
We
a
only
full
have
topic.
two. We only have 2 topics.
I'm dying over here. Just
Well, no,
watching my idea of a structured format just crumbling, fading into oblivion.
Did you not hear the word segue? So, at one point in time, Tower of God. What?
We haven't finished the topic.
Oh, I thought we did.
We didn't
What else is there
answer
to
how we could
discuss?
change it.
I did.
He said it.
I said, moral of the story: get off your electronics and go be a human being.
Oh.
He
well,
wrapped it
I
up.
didn't.
He wrapped it up. Okay, I'm sorry. Before I segue in to Tower of God's
Sorry, I didn't mean to
manipulating
disrupt
technology,
you.
I had the perfect segue and you ruined it.
But go on.
You have
finish your
one?
topic.
Do you want to continue?
For 1 week every year, stop most electronics
That's
and
it.
technology.
1 week.
1 week every year.
How about your total time spent on electronics should equal 1 week every year. So
Good luck with that.
So, out of all the time that you spend during a year, only
No, because
162 hours
it would
should be spent on electronics. The rest of it,
This show takes up 2.5 days.
turning
If
off.
we do it for an hour and everything.
okay. Let's be real though. How many people watch this show? So I mean,
It depends on the week.
I can't. I salute anybody who has the courage to marathon listen to us, because this show is chaos.
Pure BS.
It's
goes on
chaos
here.
personified. That's what this show is.
But turning
And yet
off.
we're trying to put structure to...
I wanted to put
Chaos.
structure on it
Turning
because
off.
I'm an authoritarian and I like structure.
Oh,
I'm an agent of chaos.
and
Yeah.
I'm trying to deal with it all.
You know, I just do things.
I've noticed. All right, so get
turning-
into your next topic. before
Okay,
you get
I had a
sidetracked.
segue. Technology bad in Tower of God. Tower of God was once someone's pet project.
Yay!
So,
Check.
What is the question of the night then?
final topic, final question. The granddaddy, super amazing, great, awesome topic created by me, yours truly, for the extra late Saturday night is, what pet projects do you have? Or what do you hold close to you that you desperately want to complete?
And tying into last week, are you willing to go the distance? And do you
Yes.
think you have what it takes to
I
go the
love when they
distance?
connect.
Yes, because
See, I was Socrates for a reason.
Oh,
he was Socrates all along.
oh, Socrates reincarnated.
So, whenever I hear
Anyone
Socrates, I
who's,
just hear Socrates from ERP.
A Buddhist, I think.
Anyway, so the reason I asked this question is because I was recently talking with Chrissy
Oh.
about about pins for whatever reason, and this will show you the conversation track that our
Relationship?
our conversations take, where it'll start at one thing, snake its way around, loop back onto itself, loop back again, and then go somewhere completely different that we never intended.
Is this
You
because
don't
we
say.
both have ADHD?
That sounds very familiar, doesn't
Yeah.
it? That sounds very familiar.
So-
Oh, wait, this show.
Right. So we started talking about pins. No, first we started talking about GameStop points and how I never knew you could buy coupons with it, save money, or instead she just bought a bunch of she got a bunch of free trinkets and stuff that are useless to me in a sense. Sure, they're cool. They're useless.
I don't think they're useless.
And then she started talking about the PAX pins and how we could get some of those. And I said that I hate character pins because I just want emblem pins, like the symbol of Gryffindor or a bunch of gears with metallic wings on it, so it looks like a steampunk aviation emblem and whatnot for my Halloween costume. And then I said, oh, the reason because of that is so that way if I ever had to, I could come up with like a backstory for the character. And then Chrissy makes the genius remark, why don't you create some of those stories and then use them to tell bedtime stories to Jackson? And then I said, it's actually a very great idea.
Isn't it funny that I say things like, oh, this would be a good idea, and then you're like, yeah, that's an awesome idea, let's do it, because I don't actually think to do it.
But then I actually take it a step further.
Right.
Oh.
And so the step further,
the collaboration is great.
It's another collaboration, not with Matt this time, haha. And then I take it another step further and say, why don't I try and make a picture book for him, a storybook, to where
It's too hard. Give up now.
That's what his voices say.
So I thought about this and was asking myself, how could I come up with this as a completed project? And then I realized that I am friends with a very talented artist.
Not me.
No, I'm sorry. I don't mean to throw you under the bus like that, but she's way better than us combined. Way better than we would be in 10 years.
You don't say, because I don't actually draw. So
Well, I know you were trying to, and that
when I say I was trying to, I meant I would try once every month to draw one sketch.
We got this thing
That
over here.
nasty thing.
And then this one's a bit better.
No, I thought the other one was you.
No.
Marshall.
No.
Oh, okay.
But no, and so I reached out to her. I haven't talked to her in months.
Because she hasn't been very close.
No, mainly because I don't have a reason to go to my old Kroger anymore, and she actually moved to a different
you
Kroger.
don't have a reason to go to New Baltimore.
Yeah. So, anyway, so I reached out to her and I said, would you be able to help me try and accomplish this? She's like, yeah, sure. But,
It'll cost you.
oh, yeah. She didn't actually bring it up. I did. I'm like, look, I know it's going to take a crap load of time, a lot of supplies. Those supplies cost money. It's going to be your free time. You're a freelance artist who will take commission projects online, do them for someone, and then ship them out for a decent amount of money. How much exactly are we talking here? She's like, well, what are you looking for? I'm like, storybook. I don't know how many pages. Well, what size pages? 8 by 11 standard, I guess. She's like, let me look into it. Okay.
Which means she'll never get back to you on it.
I have faith in her, mainly because it's extra money for her. I am
if
literally...
If you're willing to pay
I am
price.
literally offering myself up on a silver platter. I will give you money if you help me. But so I came up with a structure and everything, and it's a background story to a costume that I created, and it's a steampunk universal traveler, essentially, where he goes wandering around various worlds that he falls into by a portal device.
The multiverse.
Sure. And then through his travels, he picks up trinkets. So
The planes of ether.
No, actually, that would kind of be funny just to throw like one of our characters in as like a side note. That would be funny, and I actually did think of that. I wasn't sure how it.
I had a. This is maybe I don't have coherent thoughts on it, so I don't know if I can discuss it live because it would probably take me a long time to generate coherent thoughts. But I can tell you after the show an idea that I had about something or other.
Sure, go right ahead if you could remember it.
Well, no, I will say this. I would rephrase your question.
To what?
Instead of, do you have any pet projects? Is it possible to have too many pet projects?
Okay,
because
that's
you're
better.
talking to the guy right here who
wants to do everything.
Who has 12 different unique stories that I could at any point decide to start writing.
Wow.
About 3 or 4 different board games I could develop. At least 3 or 4 different computer games that I'd like to develop.
Me.
An entire album of music that I need to work on. And anything else that I might want to throw in there.
So Matt's answer is yes.
I'm the king of pet projects that never actually get done. I've had so many amazing ideas over the years, and the problem is that
aspiring pet project worker.
You don't. Here's the thing. Believe me, if you're gonna try and do something, just do it, because you don't want to be like me, where everything sounds so good that it demands your attention and takes away time from the other things that demand your attention as well. See, some people have a craft or a trade that they love. Like, I know people who will buy a vehicle out of state that is not in running condition, tow it all the way here, and from the ground up, strip it down and rebuild the entire vehicle part by part and make it in running condition. That's there's people who do that, but that's the only thing they do.
I've seen
They don't
like
try
that.
they don't try to write several different stories. They don't try to work on this. They don't try to go do this. That is their thing. They do it. And I respect people who can do that, because I'm not like that at all. I cannot just simply say, I'm going to write and I'm going to spend all my free time on publishing this. Sorry, I just can't do it. Usually what happens is I'll work on something till I get tired of it, and then I'll put it on the shelf, which, I've already stated that the show that I do on our channel, I'm putting on the shelf for a while, because as much fun as I've had doing it, it has gotten to that point where I'll admit my interest levels kind of decreased on it, because I realized at first it was really cool, and it was, okay, I'm going to play these old games and everything. And then I went through the library of things I have, and even though it's relatively small based on everything that's ever been published, it's like
it's still a
there's
lot.
I was like, there's 10 different games that I could do right now. And the problem is none of them stand out to me.
It's too many.
Right now. So it's like, all right, so what I'm going to do then is I'm going to do something completely unique. I'm going to play a game in a language that I don't know how to speak, and then I'm going to make up a false translation of it, because that's unique and that's interesting to me. So I would say that, is it possible to have too many pet projects? Yes, I would think having two or more is too many. 2 is too many. If you really want to get something done, like you said at the beginning, you want to see it done. You have this desire to see this thing created, whatever it is in your mind. You have to commit to it, or just give up on the notion of it actually being done.
Or do it the way that I am planning on doing it, which is only
Pay someone else to do it.
someone else.
I would not be satisfied with it. That's my other problem. I'm too prideful where I can't. If it's an idea that I have to be the one who does it.
Right.
Otherwise, I will not be satisfied.
But see, here's the thing: is that this project that I literally came up with on Thursday, it's a project for my son.
Yeah, it's a little different then.
And I don't want it to be, oh, hey, look, your dear old dad created you this storybook that looks like garbage because your dad can't draw worth a crap.
Yeah, but in a sense, it'll also have a certain... I don't know, it could have sentimental value.
True.
If that's your kind of thing.
At the same time, I would want it to look...
Legit.
Look like a legitimate author put time and effort into
Yeah, I guess that's where you and I differ. I would just say, screw it, I'm going to do bad drawings of my own and just say, like, here you go, son. Your dad's not good at this, but
he did his best.
I did my best for you. That would be my approach.
Also, at that point in time, I think of it in a way like I'm the author. I'm the one who first had the vision of it.
You're the visionary.
I am merely funneling my vision
You're contributing to it. Still.
No, he's the man with the plan. He's the brains behind the operation.
You're writing the story.
I'm funneling my vision through someone else, giving them a description. They are merely setting it up. It's because, seriously, screenwriters most of the time, don't go in and act. Don't go in and direct it. Screenwriters come up with a story,
no wonder
hand it off
movies are so bad these days.
Hand it off to someone else. Someone else takes it, brings their thoughts to life. Mm-hmm. So at the same time, it's like, I wrote this.
But J.J. Abrams.
See, that's the thing, though. Like, I would. That's
not
why
everybody does, though.
But see, that's the thing. Like, theoretically, if we finished our book and it became, I'm talking super theoretically, because chances of this happening are almost none. Sorry to ruin your excitement over it, but say that it got published and it became a hit and somebody wanted to make a movie out of it. I personally would die a little on the inside because I would be that guy who would say my creation is ruined.
I feel that
somebody is going to take my creation, they're going to put it on the big screen, make it more available, more notable than I could ever make it, and it's going to become theirs, and they're going to ruin it. Because inevitably they're going to make changes. They're going to change the relationship between these characters because it's a movie and you have to have this. And then, oh, well, this is too hard to explain, so we're just going to cut this out. And I would just die on the inside.
I was just about to ask and say, do you really think that there's a universe out there that someone took a different visual twist on, tried to make it theirs, screwed up and ruined it? The franchise?
I believe that's more likely than a faithful
I was trying to think of it, and it's like, but no, we're like, when you talk about it, someone always automatically goes, that guy ruined it. Mm-hmm. Or like Harry Potter, where it's like, you talk about Harry Potter, you don't bring up the director, you might bring up the movies, you might realize, you might say, Daniel Radcliffe was Harry Potter, but it always goes back to J.K. Rowling. But there is one franchise out there wherever I hear about it, wherever I talk about it, I always think that guy screwed it up in movie form. Do you guys happen to venture a guess of what I'm talking about?
Was it a one-off movie that bombed?
Yep.
Did it have anything to do with avatars?
Yep.
And airbending?
Yep.
Any other?
No.
Really? Nothing?
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, for me,
Aragon?
I would just kind of, like, I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I wouldn't enjoy it, I think. I would be sitting in a movie theater and, like, where other people might be enjoying it and being entertained, I would just be like, no, you screwed that up. No, that's not how it's supposed to be.
I think that would be the one movie I would literally get fed up with and just walk out of.
I think I would refuse to see it. Seriously, if somebody made a movie out of our book, I think I would just refuse to see it because I'd just be like, I know they're going to mess up. And
don't you have to go to the premiere, though?
For PR reasons, yes.
Yeah.
But other than that
would be seeing
this movie. Reported Matt of the group Matt and Marsh walked out of the premiere event of his.
You don't want to look bad.
Yeah.
They screwed up big time.
Yeah.
Someone's getting fired and never working in Hollywood again.
It's not unheard of, though, of, like, authors going in and saying that they disliked somebody else's take on something.
Oh, yeah. Look at Stephen King and Stanley Kubrick with The Shining.
Yeah.
Maybe that's
Stephen King
why
hated
J.K. Rowling
the Shining movie, right?
Yeah.
Harry Potter
He's like,
movies.
you did it all wrong.
It's also two different endings, too.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't remember the context of it, but it's like... And also because it was created essentially by... It was the same story created by two different people in two different ways. The King Overlook Hotel burned, while the Kubrick Overlook Hotel froze. Spoilers for a decades-old story.
I from what I had heard, like, Stephen King didn't like the way they portrayed, like, the main character and his descent into madness. He's like, no, that's not how... He descends into madness, but that's not the way it happens. It happens like this.
How he died was funny, though.
So it's more like the subtleties, though. But that's the thing. Like, that's where I would... That's where I would just, like... That's where I feel like I would just die inside.
Oh, because are you going to show?
Because it would be like, you know, I would see how somebody else would interpret the characters that I wrote. And I'd be like, no, that character does not think like that. That character would not say that. They would not act like that. They would...
What's with his eyes?
The cross-eyed.
He's dead!
But why do they go up?
I don't know. It's just
like, I mean, they should be looking out.
Folks, I absolutely love The Shining.
Keep your eyes on that. Yeah. But I'm just saying, though. So it's just like... I'm trying to have a philosophical discussion here, and you're ruining it with your stupid imagery.
I'm sorry.
Speaking of stupid imagery, that game, man, that Japanese game, that was...
Threw you over the edge?
Yeah, and I know you'll be like, when you see it, you'll be like, oh, this is nothing. This is like child's play, and...
I have said that before.
But the thing is, for me, it's different because that's not the kind of stuff that I'm into.
It's like
past the nudity.
So when I see it,
it's like taking meth for years on end. You're just used to it, where it's like you need more and more and more before you cross that line to a borderline, life-threatening experience. Whereas for you, it's the smallest amount and you're already there. If that makes any sense.
Well, okay, it's that I have completely different expectations, standards, principles.
I have no standards.
But
I also have no morals.
To me, and assuming that it makes it into the final cut, which I'm the director, so I get to make the call on that.
Right.
But
which,
to me,
load off my back. I don't have to deal with it.
Yeah. What bothered me the most about it was not so much the imagery as the context, as I've tried to explain to you before. That's what bothered me.
Which you have none. You have no context because you don't know what it says.
That's where the
I
fandom
can tell from the situation, high level,
Visual
and I can see.
context.
I don't need to see what the dialogue is during those scenes. I can just tell. I know what happened before, and I know what they were leading into, and I know what they're showing, and I don't like where that's going at all. I was like, I don't. The context of it to me, it's too messed up.
When you make like the final version after you edit in our script and whatnot, every single like time before it leads to the wacko stuff, I will take my own style of creative twist onto it, and I will throw the JonTron, I don't like where this is going, stop into it, and just keep it for myself because I will love it dearly.
I know you're gonna enjoy it a ton, but for me, again, I have certain expectations, and then when it goes in that direction, I'm like, no, just no, don't go there.
I mean, after all, I am a monster. This past week just realized that I liked Funyuns. So
I can't eat those.
I can't either. Just
at
the name.
I always got crap for it.
So
It's like, you don't like Funyuns? What's wrong with you?
I don't like onions.
Chrissy, you said that you had a pet project, so.
Yeah.
it's for Marshall.
Oh, it's that super secret one that I still don't fully understand.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll understand hopefully when you see it.
Which may never happen.
Well, I've gotten more
I'm the downer of the group.
enthusiasm about it, so hopefully
the
when
cynic,
Jackson lays down for a nap on Monday, I'll get to work on it.
The pessimist.
Yeah, Matt's the Debbie Downer of our group because it was his. It's his idea for the whole philosophical thing. So.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
What?
Well.
Was that you not wanting to end it?
We got nothing else to say, though.
No.
I know, but he sounded depressed.
We're not going to go into the 2-hour show marathon.
Oh, we definitely could.
I'm just reflecting back.
We could talk and ramble for an hour, and then we would lose any audience that we don't already have anyway.
And it's amazing that other shows can do that and get rabid fans who absolutely love them.
Yeah.
It depends on what you're talking about.
All right, folks, we are out of
for
here.
An hour and a half.
Yep, shameless plug for an unfortunately.
But they're no
down
longer
show.
recording, so past episodes.
Right.
Too bad.
All right, folks, we're out of here. We're slowly descending into the madness that we want to avoid.
Yes.
It's not even 10 minutes over.
Say goodbye.
Bye from the Radical Machine.
And bye from Socrates.
Oh yeah,
Always.
Mr. Socrates. Always philosophical.
I don't know. I was trying to think of something, but
is that his go-to goodbye when he's saying bye to Plato, and it's like, and remember, always philosophical. Shuts the door.
we could do that.
You have anything coming up on the channel this week for next week?
If I ever get around to posting the rest of Ghost Recon, yeah.
Alrighty.
Other than that,
Stop playing
wait some time before you see.
Stop playing your Japanese fetish game.
Oh, I'm done playing that. At least the first playthrough. Then you get to see all the nonsense that isn't nonsense.
Yes.
That is, but isn't.
I can't wait.
Which, by the way, I think there's actually a way to disable it.
Oh.
I'm thinking that dialogue option at the beginning was actually saying like, yeah, I don't want to see any crap.
Do you want the bondage dungeon in your game or not?
So, for the purposes of the parody, add it all.
Bye, folks. We're done here. See you next week.